minus 1, that's 3, quick maths. Everyday man's on the block, smoke trees. See your girl in the park, that girl was a uckers. When the ting went quack, 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 you man were ducking. Trap, trap, trap on the phone. Trap, trap, trap on the block. Trap, trap, trap on the phone. Trap, trap, trap on the block. Ting goes skitty keep pop pop and the pop pop boom boom boom. Ski do 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 boom boom. You don't know. Tell a man's not hot. I tell a man's not hot. The girl told me take off your jacket. I said babe, man's not hot, never hot. I tell a man's not hot, never hot. I tell a man's not hot, never hot. The girl told me take off your jacket. I said babe, man's not hot, never hot. Hop out the 4-door with the 440 was 1, 2, 3, and 4. Chilling in the corridor. Yo, your dad is 44, and he's trap 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 on the phone.
Yes, people. A little behind schedule here, but we are here nonetheless. I'm Liverpool 12th Man, and this is, of course, the Liverpool 12th Man show, and it's also your show. It's just as much as it is my show, so I am honored and pleased to be here. So let's do this now. Here, correctly hear you. This is my little first intro of being live. Definitely been an interesting transition. As you saw in the beginning of the video, it was kind of a little bit hectic. Maybe you saw a couple of different little scenes that you weren't supposed to see at the time, but all the same. What I am going to be doing here on this episode is primarily showing what it is that is Darwin Nunez, Invasor, of our opponent's Backline, and virtually our new number 9. I believe he's going to get the number 9 kit. I've been saying that I'd like to see him get the number 9 kit, and I'd also was saying I'd like to see the number 7 kit come out. I definitely understand that this is a divisive, as my friend Chainsaw has said, Nunez is certainly a divisive character on this fan base. I like to think that he is someone that can hopefully bring up different things. Big up John Conway. My Reds coming out to say what's good, appreciate that. And what I wanted to say by bringing out this episode was primarily because I've been saying I wanted to see number 9 and number 7 kits now that they're departed in Milner and in Bobby leaving and those kits being open. I wanted to see, or I've been proposing that they should be passed on to who I believe is our new number 9, Darwin Nunez, Invasor. And I definitely am excited to see Diaz get the number 7 kit. We got Mark A. And those things are really important because I think that realistically we need to see this transition occur. And I think that by those iconic numbers, those iconic kits being passed on to these players, it shows that they are now a part of our club that isn't going to pass us by. So let's I wanted to really chop it up a little bit, and I've always said that I always like to empower my brothers and sisters in the Reds family here by giving you little bits of knowledge. I know I'm the stats guy, or one of the stats guys that I often gets called up. But yes, let's get into it. So here we have Darwin Nunez. I was going to basically show you some real important parts, or real important portions of why I think Darwin is important. Why we need to include him in the transitions. Darwin Nunez, happy birthday, of course. He's big 2'4". It's pretty big. Pretty big birthday. Nunez getting the number 9 would affect Tata. I do think that it will definitely galvanize Nunez. And this is going to Mark A's question, because I will be a lot more interactive with the chats in my live broadcast, people. So yeah, if you have questions or that, and just because I might not put them up on the screen, I haven't really gotten how to do that properly yet, but I will continue to put everything up. To Philip, and I believe though the number 9 kit is not officially his, but I've seen leaks of the new kits that are going to be printed out, and the new leaks have Darwin's name with the number 9. So just so you know. So I'm going to get into it. This is the number 9. I should say. I was going to say number 27, but number 9 on our team, holding that shield. I wanted to really get into it because, look, I know he's divisive. I know that people might think that Hata's a better choice at number 9. They might even think, some people might say Hakpo is a better choice at the number 9. But this is something that I wanted to pick out and pick up for it as well. Well, Darwin Nunez, Invasor. I'm calling him Invasor because Jurgen Klopp referred to him as a racehorse. Okay? And when he referred to him as a racehorse in Uruguay, the number 1, or like the greatest racehorse of all time, is named Invasor, invader, raider in English. And that's why I've nominated this nickname for Darwin. If he's going to be Klopp's racehorse, he might as well be the greatest racehorse from Uruguay that we can have. So the Invasor. And I think it's kind of an appropriate name because he's certainly an invader of that back line. He presses that back line very harshly and often causes problems. So I brought up this stat because often people think of him as playing left wing primarily, but in reality, if you look at these numbers, he's played 42 matches this year, and 27 of them have been at center forward, and 15 of them have been left wing. It seems like sometimes we see him left wing, and it automatically like resonates that he's playing left wing, and it overshadows the fact that he plays nearly twice as much in the center forward position than he does in the left forward position. It's just so relevant to us when we see him in the left winger position. However, one thing I also can say is by looking at these numbers alone, he brings some real versatility in either position. There's really not much of a difference between the 8 goals that he scored at center forward and the 7 goals he scored at left wing. If anything, it shows that he might be a little bit more versatile, a little bit more deadly from the left wing position than from the center forward position, considering he scored nearly the same amount of goals in nearly half the time. That's how I'm looking at it. Okay? So, moving on from that, this one's for the ladies. We have Mr. Nunez. Again, I'm highlighting the fact that he's bringing out 15 goals this year, and he's got 4 assists. I think that 124 minutes per GA is not a bad GA ratio division when it comes to how you're getting your actual production. Chainsaw's asking a question of, do you think Trent in midfield hinders him or improves Nunez? Okay. I have a great couple of great slides for that, Chainsaw. And I think that what it's going to do is, by having Trent in a midfield position or his inverted position, or as I'm calling it, a halfback position, I think it's going to open up that center forward position for Nunez. And why I say that is because when distributing the ball, we've often seen Trent be able to pick out players from anywhere on the pitch. However, I believe that moving him into that inverted halfback position is going to make a serious transition for Nunez, because now all of a sudden if we can have Thiago and we can have Trent, and this is depending on that. I know I'm probably going to like light a fuse underneath some of these people in the chat or out there that are going to get into the Thiago in or out debate as well. But having distributors like Thiago, having distributors like Trent will only enhance your game. I mean, these players can put through balls, can give you can do passes that to positions and places that you want the ball to go to. And I believe that only another year of familiarity with them is going to improve it. And when people say that Thiago isn't going to play much next season, I can understand, considering his track record. You could easily say, yes, you don't expect him to play much next season. However, what I have interpreted from his surgery is that him getting that surgery is because that lingering effect of the hip was affecting everything, every portion of his game, if not leading to other injuries. And now that he's gotten that fixed, let's all pray, but now that he's gotten it fixed, I think that we could look for a little bit more reliability and trust in that he'll be getting some quality playing minutes, and we can start playing him as that luxury piece. We can start playing Thiago as that luxury piece, because I really do believe we're going to bring in 2, if not 3, new midfielders that will allow for you to have a little bit more luxury on how long and how often you play Thiago. So I want to also get into this one. Now, this stat right here is an incredible stat. I know that sometimes when we look at numbers and stats, people say, oh, you can interpret numbers any which way you want, this and that, yada yada. However, with this stat, I think it was a really incredible stat because it shows you. I was just talking about Trent and his versatility and everything else. You can see Trent's versatility is on this status. Like, this is for under 24s, attacking threats, okay? So it's showing the non-penalty XGs per 90, and it's showing the XG assisted per 90. So how often you're going to, expected goal assists and expected goal shots, or is the underlying line. And if you look in the left corner of it, you can see Trent's all the way up there, okay? Because he's not really a scorer. He's more like, when it comes to being versatile and being a threat assessment, he's more of an assist attack merchant, okay? So you can see that he's all the way to the left there. And it's a pretty high number, okay? Obviously the highest out of all those that were under 24. Now, if you do look, and you start to go to your right, you'll see Darwin Nunez. And you'll see Darwin Nunez pretty high up there. And why I'm making this stat, and why I have to believe that this chart really breaks down a lot of questions, a lot of interpretation of how people should read into his play and how he's really making a difference in becoming more familiar with his teammates, becoming familiar with the system, becoming more familiar in being in the right positions for these things. I know these stats are complex, I know. But if you look at it, Darwin Nunez primarily is by Kylian Mbappe and by Erling Haaland in production. That's pretty impressive. That's pretty impressive company to be in if you really, really look at it. And what this stat's saying is that Kylian Mbappe and obviously Haaland, there's goal merchants. They get a lot of goals. They score a lot of shots. However, they also assist. They also open up positioning for their teammates as well. And one thing that Nunez has in common with Mbappe and with Haaland, and no, I'm not calling him Mbappe or Haaland, okay? But what I am saying is he's putting up production numbers similar to your Mbappes, similar to your Haalands. That's pretty exceptional. It's something that we should give him more credit for. And if anyone needs these stats, I can always, if you reach out to me through Twitter or anything like that, I can always send you the stats, or I can always like give you a more precise breakdown to help you out with when you want to utilize these types of talking points or things in your conversations. So with that, let's move on to this point. Shots per 90. Now, what is crazy about this? This is this past season. Is that obviously Darwin Nunez in 2023 has 36 shots per 90. That's a 6.2, and these are with a minimum of 500 minutes. Okay, keep in mind, all right. And this is like shots per 90, but this is also keeping it in relation to those throughout history that have had some type of similar shots per 90. Okay, this is obviously since 2003, 2004. If you look at it, his numbers again aren't that bad. We're talking about Wayne Rooney's. We're talking about Cristiano Ronaldo's. We're talking about Drogba's. Okay, we're talking about Luis Suarez's. Okay, on this list, Jan Henry's, Sturridge, even Mario Balotelli, Super Mario. I am not saying that. Again, whenever I make these comparisons, I'm not saying this person's better. I'm not saying that he's on the level of these players or anything like that. But what I am saying is these numbers make a real honest debate to say that it's not a flop, people, and he's not garbage. A lot of times we've heard a lot of our rivals. For instance, I've heard like Manchester United fans that were so all about Darwin Nunez when they were in the running for him. Then when he chose Liverpool, he was a waste. He's a bin man. And now with his run, he's still trash, or he's a flop, and he's not even close. People, we've got to pick up that mantle and say he's not. I understand it's a division amongst our fan base as to where his place is on this team, what his not only his place, his role, or how his eventual growth and adaptation to this team is gonna work out. But hey, these Opta analyst stats don't really lie. So I also had another. This is again the most non-panic XG per 90. This is by Squawker stats, and if you look at this, I know he is missing shots. Let me say that again. I know Darwin Nunez is missing shots. He's missing chances. All these players on this list are missing chances too. All of them. Now, albeit it has been a real rush for him to be adjusted and adapted to being the sole person on the squad. Personally, when I saw him get a transfer to this team, I thought to myself, it's a unique time for him because yes, he could become the number 9 and solely the number 9 for this club. However, with Hatta, with especially Bobby, with some of these other players with Hakpo, for instance, with these other players that can be slotted in that number 9. It was going to be an adjustment for him because he's going to have to fight for it. But sometimes even when you're fighting for something, it's not exactly an easy pursuit towards getting comfortable in your own skin, getting confidence within your own abilities to make mistakes and not have them create more mistakes, as opposed to learning or just letting that mistake go and just moving on to the next obstacle in front of you. And this is why what Squawker was trying to say with this point was this: he's got the most MP per goal, most shots, okay, non-penalty XG, I should say, most shots. He got the most shots on target, and he's second most biggest chance miss. That is saying something. I get it. That is saying something. But what I wanted to bring out is that Missing shots happen, especially for strikers. Especially for strikers. This stat, unfortunately, I don't know if you can see this next stat that's going to be coming up on the screen here. This stat right here is something that really highlights, to me at least, highlights some of the misconceptions that we have sometimes when it comes to addressing the missed big chances. And what I mean by that is, if you look at this, let me pull this up for myself here. Hopefully, I don't know if hopefully some of you guys are still with me. I know that it's the impromptu pop-up style display here or show going on, but hopefully you can see those stats. If you can't tell me, I can always make them bigger for you. Why I'm bringing up this stat here is this. So this is a percentage of big chances missed. Players with 16 or more big chances missed are on this list, okay? And this is throughout, again, all of the Premier League history, okay? Just the Prem, not first division or anything like that. Just the Prem. And if you look at it, why I put the big star on that is because of that's the big stars with Christian Benteke, who had 20 shots. You'll see next to it is the number of shots that they have. So that's the number of shots, and then it shows you the year that was accumulated, and then it shows you the percentage. If you look at it, Darwin Nunez has a high number on that list. I understand that. He's missed some big chances. He's had 16 big chances, okay, and he's missed nearly 80% of those big chances. That's not good, but it's not terrible. And why I say it's not terrible is because you look at this list, and this list continues on with highly notable players. And I've marked some of the ones that kind of made a point for me. Ibrahimovic. You have Luis Suarez. You have Mohamed Salah. Now I put Mohamed Salah and Sadio Mane on this list particularly because I wanted to show you some reference to what he is going against when it comes to his predecessors in this particular system. We're looking at 70% from Mohamed. We're looking at, again, 66% from Sadio. And these are in good years. These are years that we were making a real run for cups, when we were making real runs for the title. Mohamed Salah, again, 59%, 16 misses. I put in even Son in this list as well, because in the year that he won the Golden Boot, he had 17 big missed chances, or 17 big chances missed, or shots to go on, and he missed 57% of them. Again, Mo Salah. You'll notice a recurring occurrence of Mo Salah on this list, and you'll notice 17, 23. 18, 16, on those ranges of what we've seen in Nunez. He's not as poor as people want you to believe, people. That's what I'm trying to get across. I think realistically, he is slotted to have a great season. And why I can say he's slotted to have a great season is primarily because he had 14 goals at Benfica, and then the next year he had 35. He's had 15 goals his first year at Liverpool. Now, can I see him more than double his numbers? This is coming up. More than double his numbers? Can I see him go on the line where I have 30 goals or something along those lines? I personally would love to see it. I could see him getting into 20s though. People in the chat, please tell me. I'm not certain who's with me right now. And if you do disagree with me in the comments as well, even if you're watching this on the review, please tell me if you believe that or don't believe that. But I really do believe that you're going to see a birth of goals for him next year. Wearing that number 9 kit, being a positional center forward for us, having distributors like McAllister, like Trent, like Thiago, hopefully back and fully fitted, in roles, and possibly even some additional additions as well, in roles that complement him being the invasor of that back line, the raider, the invader of the back line, of the opponent's back line. That's what this young man is going to be doing next year. So I hope that I get some feedback. I'm not sure if people do believe that or not, but I really do think that you're going to see a big surge in his goals, surge in his play, and everything else. Again, I originally had this as being a number 7 and a number 9 shirt or kit episode, because I saw this on Twitter, and I also believe, and I started tweeting it as well before Luis got the confirmation he's getting the number 7 shirt. Do some of us as fans, do we have a problem with the number 7 shirt being handed to Luis Diaz? Do we have a problem with the number 9 shirt, which is what this whole topic is on? We have a problem with the number 9 shirt going to Darwin. That's a really big question. I'd love to see and hear if people have some idea as to what they really believe or what they feel is going to happen. I honestly believe that we're going to see real resurgence in it all, and it's going to be all because of this man, Darwin Nunez, Invasor. Invasor. It's a little helpful in Spanish too, Invasor. But yeah, sorry about the stats looking a little complex again. It was just a quick pop-up here to just kind of go in and kind of start giving out more of these daily. I'm gonna do these impromptu. I'm gonna just do them off the cuff. I'm gonna do with not really have much of a real scripted show per se, but there will be a loose, or at least a rough outline as to what we're gonna get into and delve into. But again, I want you guys to have these stats. I want you guys to have these talking points, these really important facts, so that when we do run into rivals, or we do run into our own fan base, especially that are saying their feelings, but not really giving their real knowledge opinions that are backed with facts, we can kind of put them on to say, hey, let's have a debate. Let me try to indulge you or enlighten you with some of these really encouraging stats and statistics and real truths. And I appreciate anyone and everyone tuning in. I know that again, it was going to be a quick sesh. I'm going to do these quick pop-ups. I'm looking to try to do these quick pop-ups, I think, every day at 8 p.m., I guess it is, UK time. It'd be noon for us in America. And I'm just gonna do it every day now. Might as well. Just rip the Band-Aid off, and I'll just have these every day. Hopefully you'll join me. I'll even start to bring in a little bit more back and forth. Again, like I said, I'm going to interact with the chat. But I also would love to, include some real questions by bringing people online and bringing people into the discussion. There's really no stupid answers or stupid questions or even stupid answers really. But I know though that I want to give informed answers. I want to give really inquisitive questions that provoke thought. And I think that there's no better fan base than this. So again, I would like to thank you for joining me. Hopefully it'll be a little bit less hectic. I'll definitely be on time because I had to get the microphone set and everything. But hey guys, I appreciate you even tuning in to give it a look, give it a shout. Please do what I love to say we need to do for all these platforms, all these content creators on these platforms, and that is to share, like, and subscribe, which in whatever order you like, okay? But most likely, if we don't do those things as Reds, then we truly don't honor each other as Reds, because realistically, you're all I got, and I will always be there for you. And Liverpool 12th man, appreciate it. And this is me signing out.
Skitty cat cat. Boom. 2 plus 2 is 4. Minus 1, that's 3. Quick maths. Everyday man's on the block. Smoke trees. See your girl in the park. That girl was a uckers. When the thing went quack quack quack, you man were ducking. Trap on the phone. Trap on the block.